Alright, hello guys, Transport Johnny, and today we're making one of these. This is a copper bopper made out of a thing. It's leaded, and it's an alternative to the half-inch ones. What I found is that these tend to break and then wiggle loose. I don't have an example of that on me, but the epoxy on these tends to break, and if you don't produce flakes, and yeah, so these just totally eliminate that because it's just one piece of copper, and they're cheap, and so you're not buying a big huge rod of half-inch copper, which might be too heavy and stuff like that. So yeah, let's go make one of these things. All right, so you're gonna need the stub end, I think is what it's called. And at the Home Depot that I bought them from, they came in that length, so I ended up cutting it down. Something to cut the pipe, so whether that be a hacksaw. In this case, am using one of these pipe cutters, and lead, which is down here. You're gonna need lead, so, or I mean, if you want to weight it some other way, that's totally fine, but lead is the best way to do it. Alright, so what I did was I just shucked this thing up in the post vise. Chucked it up in the post vise so it was resting vertically, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that little bar of lead, or, well, I have other lead that I tried to cast with, in this bucket right here. So what I'm going to do, what you would do with like an ingot like this, or a bar like this one, is that, well, you would, and you'll need a torch, forgot about that, some way to melt the lead. You would just hold it above and let the lead drip into it. I already let that happen and it didn't end well. So what I'd recommend doing is casting something very small, half-inch, like that, and then just pushing it in there. And that's about only halfway. So I can grab a ramrod, this thing, yes, and then just stick it in there. Stick it in and just ram it into the bottom. Open up your torch. Light her up, and then just melt the lead. I don't know whether you should just let the lead sit. That's what I'm going to do. Right now I think it's on liquid state. Right now I think it's in a liquid state. I'm just going to let it sit and hope for the best. Or wait until like a hardness forms over it, and then punch it. So I got my trusty new half-inch bit tongs. Grab it nicely. Undo the post vise. Do that. Drop it in. Pour out the water, and then we're gonna cut it. All right. So then you're gonna want to take. Ooh, it's still warm. And maybe it's not enough lead. If it's not enough lead, you can just keep pouring more lead into it. And this is what I was talking about with the boppers. They just come loose like this one. This seam of epoxy totally broke, and you can just pull it apart. Just terrible. So now this has to be redone. It's like, oh, such a pain. So this doesn't have that problem, though I've only found half-inch versions of this. So you can either use a hacksaw or a coping saw if you could probably do that. I'm gonna make this a longer bopper. So the other one I made, is this long. I'm gonna make this one just a little bit longer, an inch longer. Makes a big difference though. Chuck it up in the vise with the end that you do not want down. I think that should help a little bit, and then just roll it along, and then every time you make an entire revolution, just tighten more, or at least this is the way I am doing it. I didn't tighten it that time. And it will just come off like that. And if you're worried about that burr, you can go over it with a file. I'm not, but like, you could just stick a file down in there and just deal with it like that. And this stuff can be melted, so this is going to go in the casting bucket. There you go. 2 boppers, 2 copper boppers, and they work. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. See you in the next episode.